Hello, today we are going to explore the area of Crystal Lake Camp from the NES game Friday the 13th. While this game has a bit of a sinister tone, we can find some beauty in the scenery. We'll have to use our imagination since this is tile-based background art, but let's see what we can come up with. Let's get started. This canvas is 120 by 90 pixels without a predefined color palette. The elements I want to get in this piece are the mountains, the cave, cabins, the lake, and the path. These are the things that I think you have to have if you're going to try and create a landscape based on this NES game. To get those pieces in the places I'd like, I start by doing some quick line work. This allows me to place and rearrange the elements without putting in a lot of effort. The details can come later. The sky is a deathered gradient using some orange hues since we're going for a dusk feeling. The clouds are wispy little things that you might see in the distance on a warm summer's evening. In creating the mountains, I try to keep in mind that the sun is low on the horizon, meaning that the parts facing us are going to appear pretty dark. I try to keep this in mind when choosing the blues I'm using for the mountains. There will also be some edge lighting where the sun is illuminating the peaks from behind. It's difficult to draw too much inspiration from the mountains in the NES game due to their nature of being created out of repeating background tiles, but that just means we get to use our imaginations. Using your imagination is a key part to enjoying and creating pixel art. The nature of low resolution means that our brains are filling in the gaps in detail with shapes that it recognizes. It's always so satisfying to see the illusion of the detailed shape or object come together as you place your little squares. Creating distant trees with pixel art is a lot of vertical strokes to indicate the trunks of these trees, and sometimes a bit of copy and paste helps move things along. The cave is where we find Jason's mother in the NES game. It's located away from the lake, but we take the opportunity to reimagine it next to the lake for our composition's purpose. The lake, path, and cabins are the most prominent pieces from the Friday the 13th game map, and they play a big part in the gameplay. We need to make sure they have some significant canvas real estate to keep that landscape created from the game world theme. I've become a big fan of creating a kind of border of monochrome foliage around the edge of the canvas to frame the scene and give the feeling that we're peering out from behind the trees and bushes. The camp cabins are where we save our friends and fight Jason in the NES game. There are lots of cabins in the game, so we use our friends' copy and paste to create small, identical cabins. To make them feel like they're part of the landscape, we add some grasses in front of the cabins, with the occasional bunch obscuring a cabin wall. To add some texture to the path, I use an A-sprite trick of selecting two diagonally connected pixels and pressing Ctrl and B. This will create a new brush out of our selected pixels. If I then select the spray tool, I can randomly place instances of our new brush all over the path. It's a good time save and helps keep it random. The canoe is the only way to traverse the lake in the game, so we have to add it here. The reflections on the water are always a fun part of the drawing. The scribblier, the better. I try to keep perspective in mind when adding the ripples. The ripples near us should be bigger than the background ones. We're almost done filling out the canvas, just some grasses left. Adding some foliage that grows up out of the bank to obscure the lake helps give the impression of depth and to indicate that there are several types of foliage growing. We're almost done. Let's see the final product. I hope you enjoyed this rendition of the scenery from the Friday the 13th NES game. I hope to see you next time. Have a good night.